So, touching on motivation in this video, and more specifically, our perception around motivation, our need for motivation in taking action, and how do we get motivation or keep motivation. I've got to say, I'm finding it incredibly ironic that this video was on my to-do list for today because I just had an experience that I'll share a bit later on in the video, but where I wasn't feeling particularly motivated to work today or to make a video. And I had to remind myself of all of the things that I was going to touch on in this video in order to get the motivation to make this video for you. So, a lack of motivation is real. It happens to all of us. And I have noticed things over time in being in the personal training industry mostly. But when I'm referring to motivation here in this video now, I'm not talking solely about motivation to move, like exercise, but motivation towards anything. So the main point that I want to make around our perception of motivation is what comes first. What's the process? I believe that most of us, and including the old me, believe that in order to take action, we first need the motivation. And if the motivation isn't there, then we don't take action and we may wait for it to come before doing action. And many of us can fall into that trap, thinking and feeling that motivation needs to be present in order to get on with it and to move towards the results that you want. It's like motivation is the first ingredient in the results recipe, when I don't agree with that. I wholeheartedly believe, and from my experience and just going through this cycle and this process myself, is that first comes action. Action, doing it before you even feel like not doing it. So action, I believe, comes first. You take action regardless of whether there's motivation there or not. Then from that action comes motivation. The motivation from that action, you've got the ball rolling. Gives you the motivation to keep going because you're feeling the results from the action. Then you've got commitment, and then you've got consistency. So I believe it goes action, motivation, commitment, consistency, results. The commitment that keeps you consistent, doing it regardless of how you feel. You see, I think one of the biggest issues with relying on motivation being present before taking action is that motivation is not always there. We all know that. When it is there, it doesn't hang around forever. It can be fleeting and it can be gone for months on end. In fact, it's probably less there than it is there. So motivation is not present most of the time, just a small part of the time. If we wait to have motivation, believe that it's the necessary factor first, then anytime we're not particularly feeling like doing something, a simple conversation with ourselves would be enough to off the hook, kind of have a cop out. So we might say to ourselves, I'm not feeling particularly like doing that today, so I might do it another time, or I'll do it tomorrow morning when I'm feeling better, when I'm feeling more motivated. Leads to even less motivation in future, I think. We haven't tried to fight the mindset that lets us off the hook so easily. Therefore, we promote that happening again and again. Into the fact that motivation's simply not there. And if our attitude is, oh well, next time, not going to be very productive in getting the results that you're after. About it, a bit of science backs my theory as well, where we need to take action first in order to receive the motivation to keep going and to take that action. Because when I think of our feel-good hormones, our serotonin, our dopamine, our endorphin, all of those things need an action to be able to get them. So for example, serotonin, achieve that by being in nature, getting sunshine, movement, exercise, and meditation. So they're all kind of actions that we need to take to get that. Endorphin, also movement thing, and giving back and volunteering. They're the kind of chemical, reward hormone. It's when we complete a task, small wins. So in order to achieve those things that make us feel good and want to keep going, we need to do the thing that we want to keep doing first. My experience as a PT, I cannot think of a time where someone has burst through the doors, motivated and excited about to have their ass kicked in the session, to do the work because their goal is strong enough to them. Their why is clear enough and strong enough to them. And achieving the bigger picture goal result is more important than the short-term temporary pain that they're going to go through for the next 30 to 60 minutes and probably the following days. To my experience earlier, literally ago, I was in bed crying, not wanting to work, just feeling emotional. I've got some small things going on. I'm okay. It's all good. But those things weighing on me was making me emotional. And then I did not want to get up and work, let alone make a video, because it's easy to make videos when you're feeling upbeat and you're feeling happy and energetic. But when you're feeling down and sad, you don't want to get up and do that. But you know what? I made a commitment that that's what I was doing on my list to do today. And the fact that it was this actual video, I was already had in the forefront of my mind. I could see what was happening. I was looking at myself from the outside in going, okay, I'm having exactly this right now. I'm not motivated to do this yet. I need to do this and I want to do this and I want to have it done. It's kind of, sometimes you do need to sit with your emotions. This wasn't it for me. It wasn't the right time. I don't condone skipping over your feelings when you're feeling emotional and you need to address something. I definitely don't condone burying that and consistently. But just knowing when the right time is to address that and feel into that and go there, or the right time is to try and shake you out of your state and get it done what you need to get done. To hopefully try and shift our perception around motivation and the fact that we don't need it there to take the action. Taking the action first is what is going to get that motivation. So next time you are not feeling particularly motivated, because there will be a next time and there will be a time after that and a time after that and a time after that, just think back to some points in this that stood out to you and ask yourself, better once I get going, once I get onto this, and feel when I've got those hits of serotonin, endorphin, dopamine. Do you want that end result, that big goal? And I guarantee you, if that's strong enough, you will get over the lack of motivation and do the thing you need to do to get what you want to have. So I hope that helps. And next time that you're feeling a little bit unmotivated, think back to this and just get out there and do it anyway.